welcome to another edition of Bunker Office Hours, a weekly live show brought to you by the team at Bunker Labs, a national network of veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs dedicated to helping veteran and military spouses start and grow their own businesses. I'm your host, Iron Mike Stedman, joined by my co-host, Amy Morrison, and our guest today, Dave from down in Nashville. What's going on, y'all?
Good morning.
So, you know what's funny, right? I feel like we keep having Nashville people on, but I have to admit I'm a fan of Nashville now, having to be able to travel down, got to experience the Nashville Entrepreneur Center, which was absolutely amazing. And it seems like y'all got like a great ecosystem of entrepreneurship going on down there.
Absolutely. The veteran entrepreneurial community here is just vibrant. There's a Bunker Labs has been one of the bigger things, but you have the Entrepreneurship Center, you have Launch Tennessee. There's like a veteran technology council. They have all kinds of different opportunities for veterans in Nashville to get plugged in. We have nonprofits like Operation Stand Down that is great, where they have a community center and folks get together, and strong veteran service organizations, your VFWs and your American Legions in Nashville are also pretty active. So the veteran community in Nashville is very vibrant.
Love it. And we got people dialing in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Frank, E-Man, and Michael Persinger. It's good to see everybody. So as we like to do, we've got to go ahead and pass it over to Amy to talk about all the exciting events that are taking place in the bunker this week, particularly around the showcases.
Yep. Today is all about Showcase. So Veterans in Residence Showcase, the events are live. We're going to talk more about that today. That's what we're talking about. So across 23 cities on June 1st. So you can check out bunkerlabs.org/veteran-showcase to find a city near you. And we also have a virtual event for those of you who don't have a location near you. And then we also have applications are open for the 100th anniversary pitch competition from USAA. The Seattle apps are opening next Monday. But you can fill out the interest form today. bunkerlabs.org/USAA-pitch.
Love it.
That's all, but it's a lot.
It is a lot. But again, like I said, get out there, get in the community, fellowship with one another. It's a great time to be an entrepreneur. And so it's great to be able to showcase these entrepreneurs all across the country with these showcases. And so without further ado, again, we got a special guest today, Mr. Dan Collins, a Nashville ambassador and founder of Wall of Fame Entertainment. And Dan, I know you're getting ready to tee your team up down in Nashville for their showcase. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. So what we're doing today is we're going to take our cohort members and give them opportunities to pitch their business before the showcase. And so they'll just kind of go through the show format and get their pitches sharpened. So show day is good to go.
What are most people excited for about the showcase? Why do you think this is a good opportunity for a lot of our entrepreneurs?
I think it's just the public appearance of it. It's just the fact that they have an opportunity to publicly announce that they have a company and that their company is doing this, or their company needs this, and what their company's doing for the community, or what problems they're solving, or what their vision is for something bigger. It really depends, because you have folks in Bunker that are like your small businesses that are just kind of operating a small business, and then there's other individuals that are operating from an entrepreneurial perspective and looking for high growth and have big visions and things of that nature. So you kind of want to make sure that you give both of them the attention they need, but they are different.
Do you get the sense that people are nervous?
That's also, it's funny because some of the individuals are like, yes, they're all into it. They're ready to present. They're extroverted. They can do well from a public speaking perspective. And then you have the flip where others are just so timid. They have exactly zero interest in being in public. What their interest is doing what they're doing. And so you kind of want to pair those folks together and see that they can build off each other's strengths. So that's the hope there.
So I want to go to our audience. We've got a lot of people tuning in. Again, Chuck T, veteran intellectual property in the house. Josh Weldon, good to see you again too. If anybody that's participating today has been in a showcase, go ahead and drop your comments in the chat. Tell us what showcase you presented at. I'm thinking of a couple of the ones we did in New York City, and it really is a great time because you get to invite people from the local community, right? Like you said, this is kind of like a coming out party. And then also that practice and experience of talking about your business publicly. So when you say that you're helping the veterans down in Nashville do some pitches, get prepared, talk to us about some of the exercise that you're going to be taking them through.
Well, you want to first we give them a booth. And so that first part of the showcase is kind of the handshakes and the high fives where people can go to their booth and set up. And so what I've tried to do is it really encourage people to have booth volunteers to speak on behalf of their business so they can get ready for that first part of that pitch. And basically it's what I've encouraged our team to do is kind of give a little context about yourself, what got you into the business, what the business is, and what your business needs. It's a 4-point play. It's just those 4 points, and then and make sure, because you know there's several people from a programming perspective, so you want to make it simple, and you want to make sure that people can be it's memorable, and so keeping it simple with those 4 points is basically what I've encouraged our team to do.
Now, your responsibility as an ambassador in Nashville, you're the one that's really connecting the entrepreneurial ecosystem there, really carrying that kind of bunker last flag. Now, granted, you got the entrepreneurial center, you know, Blake Hogan's down there, so a lot of the leadership is down there. But talk to us more about your broader responsibility as an ambassador.
So, as an ecosystem ambassador, I kind of consider myself like a veteran business evangelist. And so I'm just around the community, just talking about these veteran businesses and about what Bunker Labs does. And the more effective that I can be is how targeted I talk to folks. So, you know, I don't want to talk to people that aren't going to be helping the businesses. So I'm going to be aiming at professionals in the Chamber of Commerce, you know, individuals in the Department of XYZ for the state of Tennessee that could help so and so or whatever, partnerships and collaborations with other nonprofits. So, you know, just being that evangelist for the veterans, saying, hey, they're capable, they're trained, and they are dogged. Yeah, they're not going to give up. And folks just, it's not that they don't know it. It's really that they just need to be reminded that, yeah, that's actually, yeah, that I can trust in that. And so that's what I see from an ecosystem perspective.
And now your role as an ambassador too really helps get more visibility around these showcases, because now you can invite some of those community partners and people to come participate. How is the community outside the veteran space feeling about the showcase down in Nashville?
I think it's good. I've been, you know, let's just say from a social media perspective, I've started to get some engagement, folks reaching out and asking about it. And I think that outside of the veteran space is another place that I try to focus on. You know, there's institutions like your Vanderbilt University, so the Owen School of Management. I've been talking to some folks about coming out for the showcase on the 1st and just saying, hey, you know, because a lot of these entrepreneurs are also looking for further education or resources from a university partnership perspective. You know, there's a lot of grant-oriented stuff, which is also helpful from a, you know, getting partner from a university perspective. So, yeah.
I do want to encourage our listeners tuning in. It is important, I think, for us to also not only find our tribe of veterans and military spouses in the bunker, but also make sure you're getting out and tapping into these other networks like he talked about. You know, like you said, down in Nashville, you got Vanderbilt, right? That's the university. You know, up here in New Jersey, we got Rutgers, you got NJIT. Shout out to William Lutz over there at the VentureLink. And so I think sometimes too, when we're starting a kind of entrepreneurial journey, we can be so kind of insular focused, but there's a lot of opportunity outside of just the veteran space when it comes to building our business. I feel like the veteran entrepreneurial and military spouse ecosystem is great where you can go and kind of let your guard down, but we'd be remiss if we don't take advantage of these other networks that are available out there. So even in your local community, right, I guarantee every week or every month or so, somebody's hosting some kind of meetup or some pitch event, etc. I encourage people to get out there, start networking, building those relationships, learn about what they're doing. And then also when you start having these showcases or Bunker Labs events in general, invite them to come. And that's how you really start to cultivate that ecosystem. So I think Bunker is a great place to start, but I do want to encourage people to grow their networks as well.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was church. For my business, it was because I started booking shows for camp retreats and church camps, and so they'd have acts coming in, and I'd book them, and that was basically how I got through business. It wasn't through the military; it's through church, and those communities are really important. So whether it's a faith community, whether it's a community as such, whether you're part of something that's like a fraternity or something like that, there's all these different types of opportunities for folks to get it connected that's further than just the veteran community, for sure.
Now, can you talk to us about some of the entrepreneurs you got down in Nashville? What kind of
Oh yeah.
businesses are they going to be presenting at this showcase?
All right. So let's go with we have Memphis, and that's Arbo's Cheese Dip. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Arbo?
I am. I had Arbos on the Transition podcast. I believe we had him on Office Hours. So yeah, we've been following him pretty close.
And we have so Sean Patton with Stronger Leaders, Stronger Profits. And so he's in the cohort now, but he'll be an ambassador after the cohort. And so I'm excited to see what he's got to say, because he's got a leadership program that builds executive leadership. And he's an author and wrote a book and done really well for himself. We have an individual named Wasinke Beminde, who is looking to change the financial outcomes for folks. So he's looking at creating a financial system that is, putting the folks that are in poverty, systematically bringing them up. So I wish that he was here to speak more on it, but I'd let him talk about it more than I could. Let's see, Leslie, she is got an idea from a marketing perspective to help the hotels advertise the businesses in Nashville. And so she's putting together this Roku channel, YouTube package, this whole media package for hotels to partner with businesses and be that advertising channel for them. You have, Luke with Balanced Distilling. So Luke is out of Kentucky, just southern Kentucky, not far from Nashville. And he's a distiller. So he's got a whiskey that he's coming together with and some other products, I think gin, that he's playing ball with. We have, I'm trying to look them all up because now I'm, Gavin. Gavin's Gear to Go. So Gavin has an app. It's super cool where you can, let's say that you want to go camping, you want to go kayaking or something like that, and you need that outdoor gear. Well, it's likely in somebody's garage sitting there collecting dust. And so what he said is you can register that gear collecting dust and offer it to people, kind of like an Airbnb, if you will, for gear. So that's an exciting deal he's got going on. And then we have Steve. Steve is building out a HR recruitment platform, and that's just straightforward business. He's just doing recruiting, so nothing too crazy. And then Amy is got a national nonprofit called Memories of Honor, and so she'll be, she's just a workhorse. She's got all kinds of 5K events and things of that nature. She's partnered with Vanderbilt and other universities, so athletes of those universities will play their jerseys will actually show the service member of the fallen service member in a way to honor the memories of those, and so they can continue living their life through the sport or the 5K. So that's Memories of Honor, and I think that does it. I think that's all for the cohort that I've got now.
That's great. And so what I want to do now is, for those that are tuning in, if you have any questions for Dan or myself, feel free to go ahead and drop those in the chat. We're interested in learning about what kind of struggles y'all are facing as entrepreneurs, and also about where you're dialing in from today. And now what we're going to do is we're going to transition to one of my favorite parts of office hours is our book recommendations. And Dan, I'll let you go first because I know you got the big shiny red book right there behind you by one of my favorite authors, Jim Collins.
Yeah, I'm currently reading through Good to Great, and I could not speak highly enough about it. It's a phenomenal book. I read a lot, I'd say, and that book is definitely well. And just from a reading perspective, I like solid information. I like good research, and Jim Collins is a solid researcher, and the information that he's delineated in Good to Great is phenomenal. So I would recommend anybody to read that book that's going to be in a leadership position in any organization. Now it's in the business context, but I think a lot of that stuff is applicable to leadership as such.
Yeah, I love Jim Collins. I read all his books, Good to Great, Great by Choice. I think he's got Built to Last. Definitely
Mhm.
like business books that give you frameworks, to actually
Mhm.
like execute on. And I'm a big fan of those. So my book recommendation today is The Win Without Pitching Manifesto by, I think his name is Blair Enns. I run a small agency, Ironbound Media. And so I really identify with a lot of his kind of philosophy about what it means to run an agency. And one of the things he talks about is like be more profitable. How to not just kind of send pitches. And a lot of times, like you write a proposal and you wait, and you do all that work to draft up the proposal, and you may or may not get the client. Versus trying to demonstrate value in a way where you don't have to write proposals and things like that. So it's a really great book, and it's actually caught some kind of virality in the agency space. So definitely want to check out The Win Without Pitching Manifesto. If you have a book recommendation as well yourself, go ahead and drop that in the chat also. So Dan, one thing we didn't talk about, and I'll be remiss, is your company. So one of
Mhm.
the things you were saying was you start to spin up your company again, Wall of Fame Entertainment, if I'm not
Yes, sir.
mistaken.
Yes,
Talk
sir.
to us about that before we wrap up.
So I started working in like band management and just stuff like that when I was in college. And I got, I thought it was like a fun hobby, and I really started getting interested in it. So I moved to Nashville for a youth ministry internship that also kind of featured working with music. And so I worked with Lipscomb University here in Nashville and was like a stage manager and booked the shows and did all this stuff for this church camp. And ended up going to the Army after that because that, at a young age, without a degree, it wasn't paying the bills. And then I had to finish college and went to the Army and did all that and came back to Nashville to play ball in the music industry again because I had some folks calling me and saying, "Hey, you gonna do this again or what?" And you're gonna be in town. So that being said, I got started again, and I kind of wanted to, I don't know, I wanted to try something different. So I called it Whiskey Soldier. And after like a couple of years of this Whiskey Soldier endeavor, I found out that Whiskey Soldier wasn't the play for the music business. Whiskey Soldier was a cool name, but it wasn't like the play for the music business. Like it's more of a brand. And because when I was trying to play ball in the music business, I felt like I could only stick to country music or singer songwriter stuff, and that's great. Trust me, I'm a country music fan all day, but I'm not only a country music fan. And so I needed to make sure that the brand had enough pliability to to offer a talent roster that I felt was you know more keen to what I wanted to play ball with. So we're back at it. We're spinning it back up. It's post COVID, and I'm going through the A&R process where I'm going to build out my talent roster. So I've got two right now that I'm looking forward to, and hopefully in June or July we'll have an announcement for a signing. So fingers crossed.
Well, congratulations on all that. And, as far as the bunker goes, we appreciate you because it's not easy to not only run your own business, have your own personal life, all that entails, but then also to be that ambassador and carry the responsibility for the veteran, military spouse entrepreneurial ecosystem in
Mhm.
Nashville. And so to be able to balance all that, we appreciate you. And
Yeah.
nothing we do wouldn't be possible without the support of our amazing ambassadors such as yourself all across the country. So as we wrap up here, let our viewers know how they can support your veteran showcase down there, and then also your company Wall of Fame Entertainment?
Sure. Uh, First thing, from a veteran showcase perspective, there's 23 places that this is going to go down. So this, this should be. I think that everybody listening should consider themselves a veteran evangelist, and get on board. Let's really kind of show the nation as a bunker team like that we can flex and get folks out to these 23 different cities. And from a music perspective, just keep playing music, we'll and keep going to shows. That's where I'm at. So I'm on the live music side of things. So I like to encourage people to buy the tickets and go to the show and have fun. So yeah, that's about it.
Well, Dan, it's been a pleasure having you here today. Y'all heard him. Go ahead and support the showcases taking place, and also check out his company, Wall of Fame Entertainment. We'll be sure to drop the link to that in the chat. I want to encourage everyone to check out the Transition Podcast. As y'all know, we release a weekly podcast here at Bunker that I have the privilege of hosting. And last week, I released an episode entitled Radical Focus: How to Achieve Your basically most important goals using the OKR process with Christina Waukee. And one of the reasons I really want to share this episode with the Bunker community is it's very hard in the early days of launching a business, right? You got to set priorities, you got to set goals, etc. And what I have found is that the OKR process described by Christina in her book, Radical Focus, is one of the best for early stage founders. There's a lot of different operating systems out there. You might hear the terms EOS and what is it, scaling up and all this different stuff. But what I found, going from 0 to 1, right? Just setting that one objective, having a way to measure it, and then having a consistent cadence around it is super effective. Because I know a lot of us early on, we set multiple goals that we try to accomplish within a quarter, instead of saying, hey, I just launched this business. Maybe I should just focus on getting like 10K in revenue or something, right? Make that your goal and then work your way back. And Christina and I go through her framework. We talk about it. We share examples. So I want to encourage y'all to check out that episode with her and the transition. And then also, again, phenomenal episode I did with Patrick Fitzgerald on how to develop your first business plan. We give a brief overview of a business plan and process. He's got a great YouTube video to go along with it. So I say all to say there's a lot of content to support you all as you're going through this entrepreneurial journey, right? Don't feel like you got to go at it alone. We got office hours. We've got the transition. We've got our different cohort programs in the Bunker. And you've also got your local ecosystem, thanks to guys like Dan and the other ambassadors out in the country. So make sure you're getting out there to take advantage of it and engage in our amazing content. I'd like to acknowledge our virtual event sponsor for today, the MetLife Foundation, MetLife Foundation, who's committed to supporting veteran and military spouse entrepreneurs. In addition, MetLife Foundation also provides mentorship and financial health resources to veterans and military spouses transitioning into the workforce. Thank you, MetLife, for making this possible. Also, I encourage everyone to head over to bunkerlabs.org, get plugged into the ecosystem. We got programs that'll take you from idea to invoice, incubate you, and position you to go alongside other founders and CEOs. Until next week, everyone, peace, love,